working axe. Got this piece of steel here. Started to drill a pilot hole and my drill bit went gold. Okay, no pilot hole. It's this piece of steel is a chuck. It's made to hold bits for a lathe. And so I cut the piece off that had the jaws that held the carbide bits to the chuck. This stuff is tough. I cut the end off and forged it down and did a brake test. Now, there was a screw hole through here, so that's where it broke, unfortunately. But it took some doing to do it. After I normalized it several times. Could have done a few more, but I did 2 normalizing cycles. And then punched in oil, locked the vise, and smacked it. And it took some smacking to get it to break, but it broke. So, I mean, this stuff is tough. It's gonna make a really good axe. This ought to be fun. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so where are my tongs? Here's where I am with that axe so far. I didn't film me drifting it all the way because I have other projects going on and they're frustrating me. So I haven't drifted. Punched through it with this piece of this punch here that I made out of this piece of mild steel bar, and then this hammer eye punch. There we go. So now I'm going to start working on more of the axe portion of it, and I'll come back after. Take shape. Little by little, heat by heat. Slowly but surely starting to look like an axe. It's going to stretch with a lot of steel here. A lot of steel, so I'm going to stretch that out like a beard. A nice Viking hand axe. Yeah. Woo. You have a 6-pound rounding hammer. You don't need a power hammer. I am the power hammer. Close for each time. That's upsetting. Nothing happened. That's just what it's called, what I'm doing. It's called upsetting. So what I'm doing is by by striking the top of this, I'm pushing the steel back down into the blade. So I don't want it to stretch out anymore. Pushing it down so I can bring it down into the beard. Make a nice pronounced beard. Switch to my diagonal beam. It's diagonal instead of straight across. So if it's straight across, then you'd have to come straight above your work and hit it like that. It doesn't work so well. Since it's offset, I can get a proper swing on it, and it gets more force into the steel because of that diagonal like that. I'm going to use that to strike the beard, and since it's be putting pressure like this straight across, it'll drag the beard down instead of exploding it, instead of forcing it all the way out in every direction like I'm doing with my rounding hammer. See all the marks, but they're in there. So this hat, wow, hammer. This this hammer was forged for me by my good buddy Nathan Thompson of Rusty Hammer Forge. Now you can order a hammer just like this, similar to this, from Rusty Hammer Forge, and you can also go check out his YouTube channel, also called Rusty Hammer Forge. My hat's crooked. There we go. Yeah, Rusty Hammer Forge on YouTube, or Patreon, maybe not. I'm not sure. YouTube, Rusty Hammer Forge. He also has a website, rustyhammerforge.com, and you can see tools, blades, all kinds of stuff that he makes. High quality. This is a great hammer. Great hammer. This is like a dwarvish lifesteal. Like this hammer, it knows what I want it to do, and it just does it. Like, a great hammer. I've made my own hammers. I don't use them. They're not good. This one, though, is phenomenal. trying to.
Yeah.
Filling orders.
Yeah, I know you need to. Just got one just about now. Yay.
Yeah, making a Viking bearded axe.
Yeah, looks like an axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a ways to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, carry on.
Nope.
Do your thing. See you later.
That was a nice lady that does the copper colorist is what they're called. You use fire to turn copper different colors. It's really cool. Just come out to the Ozark Folk Center here in Mountain View, Arkansas, and check it out sometime. Yeah. What you didn't see though is I was pretty sure I heard footsteps and I looked up and just about jumped out of my skin. It's dark here now. You might not be able to see it here at the Ozark Folk Center. When it gets dark, it gets very creepy. Luckily, I got my hammer. Got through giving this hammer big praise and I was falling apart on it. No, just the wedge. Nothing a little glare can't fix. Here's what I've got thus far. It's all forged so far, no grinding or anything yet. So I still have to drift the eye and finish forging out the beard, but it's coming along. coming along. Alright, so I drifted the hole, didn't record it because I just didn't. I totally forgot about it. Hold on. Let me get put my church tooth in. There we go. I'm presentable. Hey, okay. Now here's where I'm at with the axe. I'm gonna grind the profile, because there's some deviations in there. It's kind of on the crooked side. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. I'm gonna grind the profile and clean it up. And yeah. All right. Like my breathing apparatus. Yeah, got the idea from Michael Cthulhu, and it works really well. Collects the spit so you don't get beard juice all over, or spit all over your beard. There we go. Alrighty. Got the nose piece on. Darth Vader it up. Safety glasses. I don't need that right now. So here's where we're at now. Rough ground. Profile's cleaned up. Looking pretty cool if you ask me. I think that'll be a good axe. Kind of thick here. It's alright. The weight's going to be good. It's going to be a good functional multi-purpose axe. Small enough to be a hand axe, heavy enough to split or whatever. It'll be a tool for sure. Yeah. Cool. I can't push the stop button with my gloves on. Alright. Still kind of hot. Alright, so I just got through grinding. This guy, I took it to the Scotch-Brite belts. Scotch-Brite belts are nice. They'll hide a lot of mistakes. It's pretty shiny. Clean it up. I still need to put my stamp on it and do the heat treat. Yeah. And then I can grind the final bevels and do whatever cleanup I want to do, which I don't think I'll do too much because I want it to be kind of rugged. So it'll get some marks and pitting and fire scale and everything back after I put it back in the forge. So it'll look good. It'll look real good. Alright. Cool. That's crooked. Cool. That's, put it in the forge, put my mark on it. I'm gonna put the mark on it so everyone knows it's mine. Steady. Do more than one stamp. A lot of times they overlap and it looks like crap. Okay, check for straightness. Oh yeah, that'll work. Not surprised. Winch. A little hook, a magnet. Take this out. Non-magnetic. Now, set it there. Let that hang there and air cool. All those stresses out of the steel. Now, I have also since letting it since drifting the eye, I've also put it in the forge and bricked it up and let it get up to heat and then turn the forge off and go home. And it's annealed that steel, that axe. So the whole thing is annealed, but you know, it doesn't hurt to do a little extra. I never remember what that term is called. I keep on calling it equalizing. It's not right. There's thermal cycling is really what I'm doing. I can never remember the name of that term. I do it all the time, but I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. Alright, it's been thermal cycled and now it's up to temperature and we're going to go in for the quench. Magnet, good, and quenching. Now we have to put this quickness would come in here. And clean up the quench with lavender. And we sit here and watch See if we can watch the colors run up. Let's do a temper like that. Check it with the handy dandy chainsaw file. Oh yeah. Good and skatey. What we'll do is lock into this vise here. In theory, have it locked into the vise to finish cooling, and in theory, the vise should be enough mass to act as a heat sink so that the heat won't go into the cutting edge of the blade and ruin the temper. And it should just travel into the vise and disperse the heat, and then, since heat rises, it's coming up this way more. But hopefully that theory pans out. If not, then whatever. I know a guy that can fix it. I'm working on the finished grind. I got it quenched and tempered, and I'm going to go back and put a little bit of a torch temper on there because it wasn't quite where I wanted it. Now I'm putting the final edge on there, and then we'll stick a handle in it and be good to go. All right. Scotch-Brite belts. They had a lot of flaws and not so great grinds. Definitely go back and clean this up a little bit more if I feel like it. Polish it out some more if I want to. But I really want to get that handle on here and see how it looks. Okay. Bottom handle, axe head, doesn't quite fit, so I gotta shave it down a little bit to get it to fit in there. Let's do that. All right. Now, if you've never put a head on an axe before, or a hammer or whatever, oddly enough, you don't hit it from up here. Nice ring to it. Although you can go from the bottom and smack it like that. Don't ask me why, because physics or whatever. I don't know why it works, it just does. Here we go. Nice. I dig it. I'm gonna make a wedge and we can finish this up. Alright. Made a wedge. Not too shabby, huh? Alright.
And we'll see, this is a test to see if it'll actually spread this out enough to stay on there really well. Guess we'll find out. Looking like it. Looking like it. Looking like it. Sounds funny. Looking like it. Okay. Now I need to make the metal wedge. Cut this off and make the metal wedge. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do. And I'll figure it out. Made myself a little wedge. Who needs a store-bought wedge? Not me. Okay. So what kind of damage we can do with this? Knock over the camera most likely. All right. Got it set in there. Has a little sanding on the handle. Probably should have done that beforehand. Whatever. I'll take a torch to it and burn it a little bit. And then we'll go throw it at stuff. Sanding. Feel it to make sure it's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. All right. Here it is. I think that looks fairly cool. Close, I got it. Burned it in between the dark rings. Might give it a light sanding. Scotch-Brite. Okay, and now beeswax it. Gonna use a heat gun, kind of like a hairdryer of death. Put some on there. Coating beeswax all over the whole axe head because why not? Keep it from rusting. Prevent it from rusting. Alright. Wipe it down and take off the excess and kind of spread it around. So if there's any spots you didn't get, we'll have a thin coating of wax. Going to take a simple rag and kind of buff the beeswax in there. Make it all shiny and purty and such.